All right then. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, good. No echoes, thankfully. Welcome everyone. Bienvenue to another Shadow Council episode. Like always, I'm your host, Lord of Shadows, and this with me is like my charming Shadow Council associates alongside a guest star. So please introduce yourselves to the public. Who will go first?
I'll start. So as Alan lovelyly introduced myself there, so I'm Ryan, or not your normal geek. I can never get these things correct, which side's on what. So yeah, my channel, I do movie reviews. Christmas time is my favorite time of the year, so always popping some Christmas themed videos up there. Recently just done a tour on Christmas Britain. Highly recommend that video. Thoroughly enjoyed putting it together. And yeah, it's a pleasure to finally be on here after watching previous streams. So I'm looking forward to get talking Christmas with everybody.
Well, Film Review Central back again for another week of the Shadow Council episode. I'm ready for some festive times with three fantastic people. Of course, Ryan, been on my show FRC Live many times. Do recommend that Christmas in Britain because he perfectly captured Britain as an also UK resident. But listen, I've got my Christmas hat on. I've got my Greggs Christmas jumper mixed with sausage rolls, and I have got a nice alcoholic drink for this evening. It's going to be a good one.
And I'm TK, the engineer, #lucky bastard 2. Feliz Navidad.
Okay, wow. Like always, that was quick. Anyway, anyone, if you noticed, from our hats, from our jumpers, from the overall Christmas talk, this time we're going to talk about some like Christmas festivities, with more precisely, as I like to call it, Christmas time is here, movie and TV edition. Now, basically, to kind of give you the story short, we're just gonna go really deep into the Christmas spirit in movies and TV shows. So, without any further ado, let us begin. Now, I've asked you boys to give me your overall, top 10 Christmas movies, favorite Christmas movies, traditions, favorite portrayals of Santa Claus, which I believe you guys think it's unusual. But overall, you gave me some pretty interesting choices, I have to tell you. So let's start, of course, with our favorite, and also the most biggest one of all is our top 10 lists, shall we? All right, then. Now, if anyone can see, I mentioned that before, you two, like FRC and Ryan, you two have really, how can I put this, been very typically, Christmas spiritually, moviegoers. In a kind of way. I feel like you and TK are the most original in our choices. But anyway, let's go step by step, shall we? So basically, I will start with you, Ryan. So your number 10 is Christmas with the Cranks. Bloody hell, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Is that the one with Tim Allen, right?
It is, yeah. I think, again, it is not a fantastic Christmas film, I don't think. But it's highly underrated. And it's one that I can kind of rewatch over and over. It was a tight fit between It's a Wonderful Life. No doubt a better film. But I think Christmas with the Cranks has that rewatchability. And yeah, I just think it's a really underrated film, and I do highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's a little bit of a mix of National Lampoons, but a modern version. It's worth a watch.
All right. With you, FRC, who of course is next, you have Jingle All the Way, the Arnold Schwarzenegger superhero toy, Christmas movie. How perfect to start your list. Can you give us kind of your personal thoughts? Why you think this movie is worthy to be on your list?
Listen, it's the Terminator dressed as Santa and going after a Christmas toy. I mean, it's just so much fun all the way through. And it's just a very different Christmas film, period. Arnold, obviously, we all know him for his big action stuff, but he's just in the zone when he's trying to get that toy for his kid. Just got the theme to Christmas, the action, the comedy aspect that Arnold does so well. So it was such a fun pick to start off my top 10.
Okay, I mean, who can beat that? Parade scene with the whole fighting over a toy. I mean, come on, who can beat that hilarious scene? I mean, that's for sure.
It's the best. It's the best.
Yeah, and also, I will tell you this, Kieran. This is literally the only Christmas movie I've seen that has an extended cut. because I've never. Yeah, I have never seen any Christmas movie that has like a director's cut, and this movie has it, because there are some scenes in it I didn't actually see in the original like cut, from the TV. So I'm really surprised that they really went through with this one. And we have a first comment, straight from the barbecue, Mr. Marshmallow. Thank you, sir. Thank you again for joining this splendid conversation. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is another good one. Yes, indeed. That's for sure. That's for sure. We're going to talk about that for sure. Oh my God. Now, I will say this. Now, I did put top 10 Christmas movies and TV shows, and TK, you really went in it. I mean, seriously. Like, your number 10 is the Santa Claus TV series.
Hold on a sec. Cosmo, go. Okay, stay. Good boy. Okay. Yeah. Okay, say that again.
I mean, you started with your list with the Santa Claus TV series, like, again, a Tim Allen, project and everything, So why would you put this on your top 10?
Okay, so I probably should preface this with I might have missed I might have done this in reverse. So my number 10 is my worst and my number 1 is my best.
Okay, fair enough.
And I think the Santa Claus TV show, it's good, it's entertaining, but the reason I put it at number 10 is because the makeup for Santa Claus in that looks so cringeworthy and so like scary. It almost looks like Toy Santa from the Santa Claus 2. And I don't really get it. So that's why I had to put it at number 10.
I mean, for me personally, the only favorite part of the Santa Claus TV series was literally the Mad Santa character.
Yes.
Yeah, oh my God. Like, he was hilarious in that one. I mean, did any one of you two watch the Santa Claus TV series?
I didn't hear great stuff about it, so I did stay away because I've got such love for Tim Allen's like the Santa Claus movie, so I didn't want to hamper that. So I stayed away.
Okay. Well, okay, fair enough. UFRC?
Hold on a sec. Technical difficulty.
No, never seen it. Never seen the show.
Mr. Marshmallow, good character. Well, if you're talking about the Mad Santa, yes, I do agree on that one. Yeah, I mean, he's my favorite part of especially season 2. I mean, to kind of like give you an update, especially to you, Ryan. I mean, I would say the Santa Claus TV series doesn't actually stains the trilogy of Tim Allen's Santa Claus. I think like actually kind of adds a little bit to it. I mean, would you agree with me, TK? Like the Santa Claus TV series, for me personally, doesn't stain the movies. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it does really stain the movies all that much. I think, I mean, I do think it enhances them. I think it's a good thing it's a TV show because if they'd done another movie, I don't think it would have worked. I think it would have stained the other movies. But as a TV show, I don't really think it stains it all that much. I mean, I think the second season is actually better than the first.
I agree on that one, yeah.
So, but I don't think it really stains the movies all that much. I mean, you could almost make it separate from the movies too. I mean, you can almost like count it like as like a what if kind of thing too, sort of. Yeah,
I do agree. So basically, anyway, Ryan, like, again, we both can tell you like the TV show is not that bad. It doesn't stain the movies. In our personal opinion, you might have a different one. It's perfectly fine. But if you ever want it, you can give it a go. 2 seasons, easy to basically push forward.
I've just renewed my Disney Plus for like Home Alone and all that sort of stuff. So I might try to give it a go.
Yeah, okay, no problem at all. Okay, so my number 10, oh boy. My number 10 of my favorite top Christmas movies is Red 1. I think like TK, you're the only one who doesn't want to kick my ass on this one. But yeah, I mean, look, Red 1, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know maybe you two, like, you found it awful. I mean, you said before in our previous live streams, but I had loads of fun with it. Okay. With like, I like J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus, and seeing Chris Evans and The Rock together, kind of trying to save Christmas. Also the way how The Rock says it, like, it's just simply hilarious. But the overall, like, the story was interesting to me, and I still kind of felt that Christmas spirit in it, even though it was like a fantasy action-packed movie, but overall it's my number 10. Okay, but again, if you want to judge me, go ahead, be my guest.
Hey, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, no, fair. I mean that's why I look. That's why I love movies. Is that people watch the same thing and have a difference of opinion on it. I wasn't a big fan of Red One, to be honest with you. I do think that could have easily been my favorite Christmas film of the year. It wasn't, and it's got no place on my top 10. But fair enough. Lord of Shadows, fair play, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite part of the Red One, I have to say, is the Krampus scene. That entire scene for me was hilarious and really well done. I mean, the makeup on those characters and on Krampus was just simply unbelievable. Me and my friend, when we watched Red One, we literally thought that where did the budget went? In the makeup or the CGI? Because like the CGI is a little bit clunky. So I think it went on the makeup, basically.
I think a lot of it went to Dwayne Johnson as well. I think he got like a quarter of the budget, 50 million.
That could be the reason as well. Yeah, I do agree. Anyway, so you mentioned that before, Ryan. So your number 9 is Violent Night. Now, personally, I never seen that. So could you kind of brief us into it?
Oh yeah, Alan, you gotta check this one out. Of course, David Harbour playing as Santa, and he was a close second in another part of this live that we'll get into later on. I mean, again, action is my favorite, like movie style. Along with, and then you add Christmas in there. David Harbour as Santa. The action is amazing. It's the people, I believe, who made the John Wick with the choreography and the action fight scenes. It's just how they do it and how they make Santa's backstory. It's very interesting. It's very different. I highly recommend Violent Night to anybody who has yet to see it. It's on Netflix as well, at least here in the UK.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'll definitely give it a go. Like in these couple of days, for sure. Maybe even I'll even watch it at night on Christmas Day. Who knows?
I think you'll really like what they do with Santa as well, in terms of his backstory. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's different.
Okay, fair enough. Did you two watch Violent Night as well?
Yeah. No, I watched in the cinema, and it was a great time. David Harbour's such a cool. I mean, it's Red Guardian, literally blowing up people at Christmas, which is not bad. But no, I think it was such a. I love action films like Ryan, and as you can see by a film on my list, it's definitely within the mature Christmas options, and it's just such a good time. It is what people should really enjoy about Christmas, is making sure that bad guys get blown up, and we'll enjoy our festivities, as I am doing right now.
Okay, what about you, TK?
No, I've never seen that. I probably should watch it though. I kind of want to watch it now.
Although I will say the poster actually kind of looks badass with the David Harbour as Santa Claus with a hammer. Oh
yeah, I mean he goes to work on that thing, and there's a great like homage to Home Alone as well. I don't want to, again, not spoiling anything, but it's such a great scene.
Okay, you got me there. I'll definitely gonna watch it now. Okay, now with you, FRC. Okay, this one actually surprised me. Okay. Which is The Grinch from Illumination 2018.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I want to hear your personal thoughts. Like, why is your number 9 on your list?
I mean, this was a tough one because this could have gone up quite a lot higher, but I just do think that these other films were either technically better or maybe feel more festive Christmas. But I had to chuck in an animation in there. And I just, personally... Jim Carrey's Grinch is okay. It's probably an unpopular opinion, but I just think the world works really well with an animation. Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor and does some really good voice work. And I think, the Illumination stuff, I think it excels so much better with the animated version. I think it sticks to the story really, really well. And I think it was just a really great time. I checked it out last Christmas for the first time and really did enjoy it. And not had a chance to rewatch it this year, but probably will in the week to Christmas, just because I think in terms of Illumination, I think they've always struggled in the animated department. I think always DreamWorks and Pixar have done a lot better, story-wise, but I think it's such a great Christmas film to adapt into an animation. Illumination did a great job, and I think just the voice work was really, really cool as well. Plus the look of the Grinch, I think, worked well. So ultimately, it had to be the top 10 list.
Okay, I mean, I do agree with you. Like, Benedict Cumberbatch is like one of those actors who even can do like voices. I mean, like, he did Smaug, he did Shere Khan in the Mowgli movie. Like the guy is talented, no doubt about it. And you definitely feel, I do agree with you on that one. you can definitely feel like you're not hearing Benedict Cumberbatch. You're actually hearing the Grinch, or at least his version of it, you know. And I love that. You know, I do agree on that. TK, have you watched the Grinch?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, what did you follow the 2018 version?
It was good. I don't know if I was crazy about it, but it was okay.
Okay, fair enough. Mr. Marshmallow, one more time. Agreed. If you're talking about the Grinch, then yeah, I think like all four we can agree. You know, that's for sure. Okay, now again, your list, TK, your is so interesting. So your number 9 is Ed, Edd, and Eddy, Jingle, Jingle, Jangle. Would you please expand on that?
Okay,
please?
so first I think I got the title wrong. It's Jingle Jangle, I think. So
No, it's Jingle, Jingle, Jangle. I checked it.
Okay. So I like the story of it. I mean, anything Ed, Edd, and Eddy I'm into. But I kind of like the story of it. It kind of is like it kind of has like a Wonderful Life kind of vibe to it. But I don't know. I kind of like it. I think it's good. I mean, it's not like as good as some of the other stuff I have on there, but I think it's good. It's entertaining.
Okay. I mean, do you two also are familiar with Ed, Edd, and Eddy?
I've heard of it. I wouldn't say I've checked it out and gone out my way to check it out, but I have heard of it.
Okay. Ryan?
TK, mad respect from me. I absolutely loved Ed, Edd, and Eddy growing up. That was like, I was obsessed with it. That was what made us get into Gobstoppers. I always try to look for the biggest one humanly possible to shove into my mouth. So I haven't heard of this, to be honest. So I'm very interested. I will be checking that out. I've never heard of it. I'm a big fan of Ed, Edd, and Eddy from unfortunately a while ago, being as old as I am now. But yeah, I'll definitely be checking that out.
Oh my God! Like, this is absolutely brilliant. I mean, like I said before, me and TK, I feel like we really went original on this one. But anyway, my number 9 is gonna be The Night Before. Now, just like with the animation or just classic Christmas, I'm also a big fan of like Christmas comedies. And The Night Before, I mean, you have the future Captain America, you have Seth Rogen, you have I always forget his name, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Like, he was in it, and again, it's literally, you know, it's a comedy about like, you know, these 3 guys, you know, getting high and drunk and do a lot of crazy shit, you know, in this movie. But you know, it's such, you know, it gives me every time, it gets me so much with the laughter and everything, so that I definitely, you know, for me personally, it deserves to be on the list, you know, because I really love that movie. And again, I'm a big fan of Seth Rogen, you know, especially. So, did anyone of you watch The Night Before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
The church scene with Seth Rogen when he's high is really just quite hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
It is absolutely hilarious. What about you, TK?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, you should. Trust me, you're gonna piss your pants. Believe me. Believe me on that one.
It's classic Seth Rogen, where it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. It doesn't matter what season it is of the year. If you smoke weed, it'll always have a better time. I've not done it myself, but Seth Rogen has almost educated us on that. And yeah, it's just a crazy. It's again another one of the mature Christmas films, which you just think to yourself, okay, if I've not got kids, this is how I'm going to enjoy my Christmas.
Yeah, I couldn't put it better myself. I definitely totally agree with you on that one. Oh my God, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Now, going to number 8. Okay, now this is where we're going a little bit classical. So your number 8, Ryan, is The Muppet Christmas Carol. Even though I kind of already got the answer just from the title, but like, you know, elaborate your overall thoughts, like why is on your list.
It's just a really fun movie. I mean, you put the Muppets in anything and it just makes it that little bit better. And the whole opening, and I haven't watched like much of the Muppets lately, so the names do go over my head a little bit. But the one with the big nose and the little mouse, when they go flying in the sky, just the whole opening with the, you're gonna kill me, yeah. Well, I keep getting Michael Keaton and Michael Caine mixed up. Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, yeah.
Yeah. Is an amazing Scrooge. He's just such a villain. But then again, of course, with the arc of him just becoming much better, loving Christmas by the end. you just really feel that with how he portrays them at the start. And again, the Muppets, the musical aspect of it all. It's just a really fun Christmas experience.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I mean, like one of the stories I always loved about the Muppets Christmas Carol is that Michael Caine, when they asked him, "How did you act with the Muppets?" and literally every time he just simply said, "I just treat them as fellow actors, like they're my colleagues." And you could definitely feel in the movie that he had loads of fun doing this movie. You could definitely feel that. Now, okay, you don't have him on the list, but I do agree you're a fan of the Muppets Christmas Carol, or FRC.
Yeah. I've grown up watching the several Muppet films. Kind of gone missing, really, haven't they, in terms of film stuff? They've not really done anything recently, but and I always find it really funny when you see Michael Caine with the Muppets. I just don't know, like, it doesn't matter what actors you chuck into there. They're mainly usually comedic, comedy focused actors. Like, I know Jason Segel was in the 2011 one, Ricky Gervais was in the 2014 one, and then you just see Michael Caine, an experienced guy, and you just think to yourself, oh, like, what was going on? Was he having a little bit of Seth Rogen's weed when he decided to agree to that part? But
my God.
Ultimately, it's a great Christmas film. Really, really great.
Okay, now speaking of Christmas, your number 8 is Arthur Christmas. Now, again,
Yes.
personally, I would just want to say excellent choice.
Okay.
But go ahead, explore. Let us explore your thoughts. Like, why is on your list, Arthur Christmas?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's one of the most rewatched Christmas films I've seen. I'm not sure whether the rewatchability of it is starting to fade a little bit now as I'm getting a bit older. But when I watched it the first time, I really did enjoy, this different take, the different generations of Santa. James McAvoy, the main role, I really do like him as an actor. I think he's got incredible range as well. And overall, I just think it's such a positive Christmas film. Really great themes and ideas. You have some really funny stuff with Grand Santa and going around in the old sleigh versus the new high tech one, and the elf who's just a rapping master. But it was a hard one because I wanted to put it a little bit higher, but I think it's that rewatchability. Like, there's some odd stuff, like when they're in Africa with the lions, just feels a little bit odd. But ultimately, I think it is always a film that I rewatch, try and watch around the Christmas season. So I definitely think it deserved a place lower down on my list.
Okay, but before we go further, we have another comment. Did you see that? Yo, Ryan. Looks like you have a visitor on this one. And one more time.
Mike,
Hey,
it's
Sharon.
always great to see you.
Welcome, lad, to the Shadow Council. Welcome. Please share your comments all the way through. Okay.
Mike, pleasure to see you, my friend. Merry Christmas.
From all of us, a merry, happy, holly jolly Christmas, as the Grinch would say. Now, okay, your number 8 is the Polar Express. Man, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Your overall opinion on being on the list?
Okay, so first of all, it had to be on the list because of one name, Tom Hanks. I mean, I could just end it right there.
Yeah.
But also, too, at the time, I guess not now because technology's come so far now, but at the time, it was really the technology they used to make that, how they did the facial capture stuff, the motion capture stuff, really cool. It was really kind of advanced back then, so that's why they had to be on my list. And it's just a good story too.
Okay, I mean, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Wait, Tom Hanks played Santa Claus, and he played the train guy, right?
The conductor, he played Santa Claus.
Yeah.
He played. He also played the hobo guy on the roof.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I mean, but like I said, personally, I haven't seen that in a long time. This movie, but I don't know. After all of this, I mean, like you all three have put it on the list, so I think you're definitely pushing me to watch it. After all this time. But anyway, so my number 8, again, another comedy, Trading Places, with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. Now, this, for me, the reason why this movie is on my list, because like it has a very special place in my heart, because Me and my father, we used to watch it on the TV every Christmas. You know, I mean, we're both like fans of Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, but like the overall story and the idea. I mean, if you kind of look at it's kind of similar, kind of like a modern version of The Prince and the Pauper, in a way, if I'm correct. But you know, overall, again, the overall comedy, the story about it, you know, and of course the way how they screw up those old brothers at the end is simply like a complete masterpiece, like, you know, at least, you know, for me. So, you know, and so again, it's definitely that's why it's on my list, you know, because for me, and it's another classic Christmas comedy. Now, number 7, like I said, all three of you have this on the list. So number 7 for Ryan is going to be The Polar Express. Now, please share your thoughts about it.
Yeah, I mean, as TK said, a lot of movies that come out now that don't really shake up the ground, you know, they just kind of blend in. They don't really do anything. They're good movies, but they don't really stand out. When this movie came out, the animation was groundbreaking. I thought it looked absolutely incredible. Even now, it does really stand up to the test of time. Even now, and yeah, I only just realized Tom Hanks plays all them voices as well, and just Santa. Tom Hanks is a phenomenal actor and a phenomenal voice actor. And yeah, this movie is just absolutely fantastic. The little boy as well. I can't remember who does the voice for that, but I just saw myself in that young boy traveling to the North Pole, and it was a really amazing experience.
Oh, that's a very sweet thing to say. Yeah, but I do agree. Like just having Tom Hanks in that movie, I totally agree with you. Like this is like already, you know, like a gold medal type of level. Now, for you, FRC, you put on the 7 Nativity. Now, I never watched this movie, so could you please kind of share what it's all about?
Yeah, of course. So this is a very English-based film. Stars Martin Freeman. He's not going to go and find. He's not going to go and find a ring or anything, or he's not going to chill out with Black Panther. He's a school teacher who to challenge the sort of upper class school in the area. He decides to tell everybody that Hollywood are coming to make a film of their nativity play, and he kind of gets wrapped up in this lie, and you know, he has to kind of try and figure it out. And it's just, as I said, it's a very British film. You kind of see all the different, you know, kind of stereotypes of being a school doing a nativity play. I did many of them in my time. Never the lead role, but I'd like to take a supporting Oscar, best supporting actor Oscar if possible, for my nativity performances. But no, ultimately, it's just such a great British film. It's one of my sister's favourite films as well. She knows all the words to a majority of the songs, which is always so funny. And Mr. Poppy who's the supply teacher, is such a funny character. Always has me in stitches every year, so it absolutely deserves a place on the list.
Okay. Now, I mean, the way how you explain it now actually makes me, just like with you, Ryan, did with Violent Night. Now, actually, with Nativity, now I have actually you pushing me to watch even that as well. Okay.
I believe there's 4 here in now. 4 nativities.
There's 4. Yeah, I mean, some of the subtitle names. The second one is Danger in the Manger. That's got David Tennant in. Then the third one is called Dude, Where's My Donkey? And then okay. I don't know what the fourth one's. I don't know what the fourth one's called. But yeah, no, there's 4 now. And Al, we've known each other for many years. I know your I know your sense of comedy. Mr. Poppy will absolutely make you cry with laughter. He's so funny.
Wow. Okay. Not only that, I'm definitely gonna watch now the first one, but there's 4 of them. Wow.
Yeah. Cool.
This is gonna be absolutely a blast for me to watch. Now, okay. Now number 7 for TK. You put here we go. Elf.
Yes.
Okay. Please expand your oral reason.
It's just a hilarious movie. Like from start to finish, it's just hilarious.
Okay. I mean, you both, all three of you, again, you put Elf on your list. Now, I want to say it full honestly. This movie never attracted my attention. I watched it once on TV, but for me, it felt a little bit too ridiculous for my taste. Especially the whole mole thing with the elf thinking like, oh, that's real Santa and everything, and then they end up in a fight. Oh my god! But I will say, I loved Ed Asner in that movie. That's one thing for sure. But everything else,
Elf was good, especially the part where Mephisto comes in. But
oh boy, you're gonna get coal. You're gonna get coal in your stocking. Okay. I will personally write Santa Claus in the North Pole to give you coal in your stocking. Seriously. You and your Mephisto.
Marvel.
Why don't you marry the guy? Seriously.
Marvel, if you're watching, I'm looking directly at the camera now. Marvel, if you're watching, please just give us Mephisto to make this man be quiet. I've had enough of him. I've had enough of this Mephisto chat, honestly.
And I'll give you a double vote. Please do it. I'm begging you, just do it. You give us a little clue in Agatha. Please just do it. Oh my god.
All I want for Christmas, as in the words of Mariah Carey, all I want for Christmas is Mephisto. That's TK's answer. Please, thank you.
Exactly. All caps. Anyway, so speaking of British movies, as you said, FRC. So on my list, on number 7 is actually Love Actually. This another Christmas movie. I mean, it's literally like few like mini stories in one movie, but the overall the characters, the overall stories, and the overall even Christmas elements that was in this movie, I just simply made me deeply fell in love with this movie. But I think that the main reason why I fell in love with this movie is Bill Nighy, because in this movie he was so awesome in this movie. Because even me and my friend, a lot of times we literally sing his song, which he sang at the beginning of the movie. I feel it in my fingers, basically. He was so great in this movie. And again, Keira Knightley, Liam Neeson, Rowan Atkinson, the legendary Alan Rickman. So many great actors were in this movie. And again, a real treat. It's basically a romantic comedy, but for me, still, it's like a treat for Christmas movies. For me personally, I don't know if you guys ever watched Love Actually. Have you? Who will start first?
No.
Okay, Ryan.
Never seen it.
I've seen it. I can appreciate why some people may like it and why it's on your list, but I just kind of get into romantic films. They're just not. I just find it too gushy. I don't know, but there is good comedy in there. And as with yourself, Bill Nighy, I love when he does all that music, sings the song. I do enjoy that part, but I just wasn't a massive fan of Love Actually. But I would say I'm a black sheep in that case, because there is a lot of people that love that film, actually.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. We all have different tastes. We all have different, opinions and everything. That's fair enough. I mean, my favorite scene with Bill Nighy for me is the one who stole this movie, because one of my favorite scenes in that movie is literally when he looks at the camera and he's like, "Don't buy drugs. Became a pop star and they give you them for free." That's so hilarious. And the way he said it was absolutely amazing. TK, have you watched Love Actually ever?
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Again, it's an acquired taste as a Christmas movie because basically a romantic comedy. But, if you ever wanted to if any one of you is interested to do it, give it a shot. Okay. So with that, number 6, with Ryan, you have Elf. Surprise, surprise. You want to share your own personal thoughts about this movie, why it's on your list, or you kind of think we get the story?
No, I think you get the gist. I mean, I'm just a massive Will Ferrell fan. His comedy is very much up my street, so this was always going to be a bit of me. I love how he's just, when he's going to he obviously sneaks into Santa's sled and he becomes like a baby and of course a human among elves. I just love all that story. Coming back into New York City, nobody believes he's an elf, obviously, but he's just, so, of course, believes that he actually is. And that mall scene is just absolutely class. And I can't remember. Do you know her name? Who plays that his partner in it? I can't remember her name.
Oh,
Anyway, she's a really good actress. She's in a series called My Girl. She's also a standout in the film. And yeah, Will Ferrell, top notch.
Okay, fair enough.
is it Zoe? Is it Zoe?
What?
Zoe Deschanel? Her name
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I can confirm that. Yep.
is? There we go.
Yeah, it's her. Yeah. Also, I just want to say, one of the other scenes I found it hilarious in that movie is the Peter Dinklage scene. With the
Yeah.
okay, I will admit that was hilarious, especially when he beat the shit out of him. that was hilarious. I'll give you that as well. Now, for UFRC, you put number 6, The Polar Express. Do you want to add something more to this movie?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, what Ryan said about the film is absolutely agreed with 100%. But I just wanted to kind of add on to that is that it's not. I remember watching. So I watched it with my family last Christmas, and they weren't the biggest fan of it because it's not the classic idea of a Christmas film. But what I think it's really good at is I think it's really clever, and I think it's kind of a kids focused animation, but then has such a really great broad story. Also, a bit of a touching one. It's one of my best friends for 20 years, one of his favorite, not only favorite Christmas film, but favorite film of all time. He loves this film. So always watching it with him over Christmas was always so much fun growing up. So yeah, there's an emotional link to it as well. And as we said, stunning animation. Tom Hanks is fantastic. But I think it has this really well-told story that I think absolutely deserves to get all the credit, because I truly believe that, with the animation style being very mature and also having a really great story where you kind of have to. I think Christmas films generally just kind of give you all the festivities and give you all the fun, but I think this one was a little bit more of a thinker and did a really great job in making sure that this movie was as fun as ever, but also could really display some really cool Christmas themes. So for me personally, Polar Express is really great.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you very much for your overall thoughts. Now,
You're welcome,
TK,
sir.
My pleasure, like always. Now, TK, you put SNL Christmas special, so could you be more specific?
Yes. So it's really, I love watching it every year. There are lots of hilarious skits on it, but the skit that gets me every year, I think I told you this last week. There's a Christmas Carol skit on it with Martin Short and Steve Martin.
Oh,
where he throws the coins out. He blocks the whole cow. It's so bad, but it's so funny. But there are a lot of great Christmas skits on that. There's Alec Baldwin's Sweaty Balls. There's who else? There's I'm trying to think what else there is. I'm trying to remember. This is bad. I just watched it the other night. There's Alec Baldwin. There's there's Adam Sandler's song. There's Adam Sandler's Christmas song. Then there's a stop motion which has a Christmas name, which I'm not going to say because it might get us in trouble. But it's Christmas time. But I'll just sing a little bit. It's Christmas time for the. It's Christmas time for the. If anybody's watching knows that they know what that is. But that's also on there. That's really good. I mean, it's just really a good time to watch it. Really fun.
Okay. Hey, any other of you ever watched like some SNL specials, or in this case, Christmas specials or sketches?
I've never seen SNL. I've never seen a sketch.
Okay, fair enough. UFRC?
I've seen sketches like on YouTube and stuff, but never a full show. Obviously, me and Ryan are both.
Looks like someone freeze to death.
It is cold here in the UK. I have to,
Yeah, I could definitely see that, especially like with his face being all frozen and everything. Like, yeah, I can see he is absolutely like he's swallowed by cold. Oh boy. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna go further, and we just hope that he will unfreeze himself, basically. So now, so again, you put SNL Christmas special. I put number 6. I put Rise of the Guardians, a DreamWorks like anime movie. I watch it almost every single Christmas season. You know, I mean, I love the idea of kind of like a holiday, kind of like, you know, Avengers, basically, where you have Santa Claus, Sandman, the Easter Bunny, you know, Tooth Fairy, you know, and also Jack Frost. Kind of like, oh, looks like he abandoned ship.
Huh.
Anyway, yeah, well, don't worry, he'll be back. He must have been a really big jump. Okay, he'll be back soon. Anyway, so Jack Frost, you know, going up against, which is basically the Boogeyman or Pitch Black, voiced by Jude Law brilliantly. You know, welcome back, FRC.
Thank you, sir.
Looks like you unfreezed yourself. That's good.
I tried. I try.
Yeah, I heard there's a big cold in there, so thank you. Thankfully, you are now all heated up. You know, but basically, yeah. So basically, kind of repeating myself. My number 6 is Rise of the Guardians, and this is the type of the anime movie I would say you can watch even like on Easter and Christmas, maybe even like some people say on Halloween as well, because it has like all kinds of like, you know, different holidays and everything. But it's like always been like my Christmas tradition to watch Rise of the Guardians. You know, I mean, how about you lot?
I've seen it. When I first watched it, definitely surprised that it's not one that I was really expecting all too much from. So I did enjoy it after I watched it. But again, it's just not one of those ones that have like really stuck with us to become a must watch every year. But it's great to see it on your list that you have so much fun with it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. DK?
No, I haven't seen it. That's another movie I probably ought to watch.
Fair enough. UFRC?
This would have been in my top 10, but I don't really class it as a Christmas film just because I think it's got so many other like elements in terms of like holidays. So I never classed it as like a pure Christmas film. But this for me is the most underrated DreamWorks animation. It is fantastic.
I agree.
The story, the characters, you know, the creativity it goes on with it. You know, everyone talks about Shrek and Madagascar and Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon. Yet, you know, they're the faces. But this film is such... TK, you have to watch it because I do think it is one of the best DreamWorks animation films. Such good voice cast. I mean, such a great voice cast. Hugh Jackman, Jude Law, Chris Pine. Just so many good names in there. So, yeah, this would have been on my top 10 if I knew it qualified.
I mean, you could qualify. I would say this. You could, like I said, you could qualify it as a Christmas movie or an Easter movie or even a Halloween movie if you want to. You can qualify any way you want. But also, you have freaking Alec Baldwin as Santa Claus, or should I say, a Russian Santa Claus? Which is absolutely hilarious. And also, it's just hilarious to hear Hugh Jackman in his Australian accent. It's just so hilarious to hear him like that, you know. Especially, I love that kangaroo joke. Basically, you know, I just love that.
So good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now we reached our top 5 finally. So basically, your number 5, Ryan, is now. More specific, the Santa Claus. You mean the first one or in general?
I would say the first one. The second one I did like, but Santa Claus 3, nah. But yeah, this is specifically the first Santa Claus. Again, just Tim Allen, massive fan, and he played the role of Santa so well. Again, coming into a later part of the stream. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those roles I can't imagine anybody else playing in this. I don't know, maybe if yourselves could maybe think of anybody else who could have done it. But yeah, him and Charlie's relationship, it's just such a nice, heartwarming, one of those Christmas movies, heartwarming feeling throughout Christmas. Sit down, have a hot chocolate, warm yourself up. I'm alone on Christmas this year, so I'll be popping this on, getting all that nostalgia feeling from back when. Yeah, I just love this film.
I mean, to kind of add to your Santa Claus trilogy, I mean, like I feel like my number one favorite thing of the third one is definitely Martin Short as Jack Frost. I mean, he was kind of like for me the beacon that kind of made me watch the third one, you know, because I just like you're a fan of Tim Allen, I'm a fan of Martin Short, So, and seeing him as Jack Frost, I really liked, like especially that line, "I invented chill." I just love the way he said it.
I mean, I may rewatch it because I just can't really remember anything from it apart from certain parts. But maybe I'll rewatch it, and maybe it might not actually be too bad. And to be fair, as well as the Santa Claus series, I might just obviously check that out as well. There.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Okay, please, FRC, would you please explain? Your number 5 is Die Hard. Okay.
Yes.
I would say this. It's a shame that Jason's not here because you two will have such a strong debate on this one, for sure. But anyway, go ahead. Give us your all personal opinion.
Thank you. Well, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It is set at Christmas. It's on Christmas Eve. He says ho ho ho. Fair enough. He says it on a jumper of a murdered guy. But so yippee ki yay. I'm not going to say the next word, but yippee ki yay. It not only is it a great Christmas film, it's a great action film as well. It's within that genre. Bruce Willis as John McClane, so iconic. Alan Rickman in his first film debut as a villain was just so cool because he was so strategic as well, but he was just so crazy. There's so many quotable moments, so many quotable lines. And as I keep saying throughout this whole stream, it's one of the mature options. As I'm getting a bit older, you've got to check on Die Hard. I always do it every year. It is such a cool Christmas film, and so many great characters involved getting me ready for the Christmas period. It's always the first Christmas film I watch every year, and it has to be in the top 5.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
There we go. You said it, I didn't.
I mean, on my channel, there are no swear rules, so you can swear as much as you want. Okay, with you kind of adding to Ryan's number 5, you, TK, you put the Santa Claus trilogy.
Yes, I cheated.
Go ahead.
I cheated and chose 3 movies as one. I'm gonna say the Santa Claus 2.
Okay.
Because I just thought I really liked that. I really liked the toy Santa thing. I just thought that was cool.
And again, going back to the Santa Claus TV series, I feel like maybe they took the inspiration to kind of create the makeup on him because the toy Santa. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, even if you just put the Santa Claus trilogy, I would have accepted. But being specific as Santa Claus 2, I'll give you that. Now, on my number 5, now again, this is another movie that you can also consider like a Halloween movie, but I also watch it on Christmas, which is The Nightmare Before Christmas, the Tim Burton movie, which a lot of people, like it's one of the best movies that Tim Burton ever did. And again, this is a movie you can watch on Halloween and Christmas, but like even though the reason why I will put it as a Christmas movie because there's a lot of the elements in it involves Christmas, involves Santa Claus, so it's more, so again, you can do it in both ways, but like primarily, it's a Christmas movie, and again, what Tim Burton did with that movie, like the stop motion, the characters, the overall world building, it just simply still for me is one of the best Tim Burton movies that still exist today. So it's a well-deserved for me number 5. I mean, what is your guys' experience with The Nightmare Before Christmas?
This movie terrifies me, if I'm quite honest with you. I remember the first time I seen it, it gave us nightmares. I don't even think I could actually make it through the full thing. But really? I did watch it, being a big boy now, I did watch it a couple of years back in 4DX here in the UK anyway, where the seats move. And I was really blown away by it. I really enjoyed it a lot more this time around.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. I mean, even though for me personally, it wasn't that scary. I mean, like some people I've seen, I heard some people like, the Oogie Boogie scared the shit out of them. And I was like, really? I mean, I get the idea of like the being made of bugs and everything, but like, really? He's literally like a sack of potato. I mean, like, why would you be scared of a sack of potato? But okay. I mean, what about you guys about Nightmare Before Christmas? What do you?
I've never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's another one on the list of your homework to watch.
Yeah, my one friend and she and I are going to watch it together, I think.
Ah, great.
She
great.
really likes
I'm
it,
so
she and I are gonna
I'm
watch
so
it.
happy. I'm so happy you have a wise girlfriend that's kind of pushing you to do this. I'm really happy. Good for her, especially for her. And you FRC when you stop giggling.
Yeah, good film. Tim Burton, one of Tim Burton's best. He always seems to work in this wheelhouse. Again, horror Christmas film. That's what I didn't put on the list, but still, such a great Tim Burton film. Just because it's within his wheelhouse, to be fair.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Now we go on number 4. Now you ran put like really high, which is The Grinch 2018. May I please ask why?
Yeah, absolutely, Kieran. I wanted to keep my mouth shut when you were mentioning it, but massive respect to yourself as well, because a lot of people go for Jim Carrey's Grinch. And I just don't think this gets the love that it truly deserves. The animation is absolutely stunning. And I just watched this movie again last night with my girlfriend. We watch it every year. No expectations going into it, and it blew me away leaving that cinema. I was just so amazed with what I had witnessed. I'm a huge fan of animation, and it's so beautiful. There's a scene, if you haven't seen it, it's not ruining anything. He's like standing on the cliff and just looking down on Whoville, and it is such a beautiful shot. I really would love that framed. But yeah, if you haven't seen this, I implore you to check this film out. Benedict Cumberbatch as well. I kind of forgot he'd done the voice because he does such a good job, and he really makes it his own, and he doesn't copy Jim Carrey's role like a lot of other people seem to.
Well, I mean, I would say at times you can kind of hear his version of Jim Carrey in his voice at times, but I will agree with you that he's trying to make the character his own. I can definitely, but there are times, especially when he says Max, you can kind of feel like, he's going with a Jim Carrey vibe, but still, I give you, especially that shot you were talking, I give you that. And also Benedict Cumberbatch's voice performance, I mean, literally, if he... Go ahead.
I could really do without the screaming goat, though. That really annoyed us, especially at the end, the very end, that goat that screams. Oh, that annoyed us.
when that goat screamed, I was like, really?
The first time I thought it was quite funny, but the end one, I was like, that would have been such a perfect ending without that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. Now, with you, your number 4 FRC, you went with Elf.
I did.
So, with all our conversations with the Elf thing, like you want to share your own?
I think I'm going to carry on from what everyone else has said, but I just think Elf is such a classic Christmas film because I think every year it never gets old. I watched it in the cinema last year as well because it came out for its 20th anniversary. So that was like another different experience watching it with somebody different. Every year I seem to have watched this film with different people who have not checked it out yet. Will Ferrell, I mean, this is just a role for him. So many quotable moments, so many iconic scenes. We mentioned a few. I'm going to add a few more. The snow, the snowball fight where he's literally just got all the snowballs at once, throwing them like any good baseball player or American footballer would want to see. Just every time it just makes me laugh. All the time when he just, he fights with that Santa, and he's just so happy when the store manager tells him that Santa's on his way. Like just the joy in his voice is so funny. But every year I try and check out Elf. I think this top 5, excluding from tops from 6 to 2, I would say, because I've only just watched my number 1 recently. But from 6 to 2, I try and watch all of these films every year, and Elf has to be in there.
Okay, fair enough. Now, first of all, I just want to say, TK, let me just say that I'm really surprised that you put this on your number 4. Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh. Yeah. First and foremost, I'm just surprised that you watched the sitcom, Drake and Josh, because thankfully I'm not the only one who loves that sitcom. So please elaborate, basically, illuminate us. Why is this on your number 4?
I just think it's hilarious. I mean, I think it personally for me is the best Drake and Josh like movie, show, whatever you want to call it, like ever. I think it elevates from the original TV show. I think it just is so much better now. Put aside the fact that I'm pretty sure Josh Peck was on some kind of drugs or something in that movie, because his hair and the way he talked, his mannerisms, he was definitely high. But put that aside, it was hilarious. It was, I think, the best Drake and Josh movie. It had a good message. It was well done. I just loved every part of it.
Okay.
And then
Okay,
I got a comment from a viewer. She said she really likes The Grinch. She thought it was well done. She thought it stick to the storyline, but it was also modernized.
Yeah, well, I'll give her that. I'll give that it was modernized. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, like it definitely kind of went on its own thing, kind of like not following Dr. Seuss's style of like storytelling like he did, especially with the original anime movie that happened like decades ago. Okay, fair enough. First of all, I just want to say again, I'm really still shocked that you put Drake and Josh on this. I'm still shocked. But in a positive way, not in a bad way. Now, my number 4 is the same thing that is your number 8, FRC, which is, of course, is After Christmas. This movie really, really surprised me. First and foremost, it's the only movie that Aardman did that was like 3D, because usually they do stop motion. And again, this movie, the overall story, and the idea of like generations and generations of Santa Claus, I really love that idea. And again, big rich cast for sure. But for me, just like with Love Actually, for me, the big standout was Bill Nighy as Great Santa. For me, he was the best part of that movie. I loved him. Me and my friend, we quote his lines all the time. Like, for example, when he said, Christmas 1941, World War II, or the whole thing with 6 reindeers and a drunken elf. Or like that one, or there's another line when he says, like, so what if you wake up the old nipper, a whack in the head with a bag full of sand and double whiskey on the lips they don't remember in the morning? I mean, every line this guy says, like, it's simply hilarious. But overall, it's for me, the why it's so high, I would say, is also one of those movies that has like a really strong Christmas spirit as well, And again, the overall idea of it is just simply like mesmerizing to me. So that's why it's my number 4, for sure. Now, coming on your number 3, Ryan, you put Jingle All the Way. Wow. I mean, for this movie to go so high for you, why?
This wasn't really close, to be honest with you, between number 1. I love this film so much. Arnie really showed his like comedic chops in this film as well. And the mailman, probably my favorite character out of the two of them. And the chemistry, the back and forth between them, so good. When they're like just beating each other up to try and chase after the Turbo Man doll. And of course, the parade scene, all climax at the end with the massive parade scene, battling it out. Just so good. Big cameos from the Big Show as well. Coming being a big wrestling fan. That whole scene with the Santas and he pulls the beard and the little guys.
Oh, yeah.
Just so good. Yeah. Love this film.
Okay. I mean, like for FRC, number 10, your number 3. Nice. Now, your number 3, FRC, speak of the devil, Home Alone 2. Okay. I mean, what can you say about Home Alone 2? What can you say? I mean, FRC, give it a try.
Thank you. No, Home Alone 2, personally, I think it's a little bit too much hate. I think people don't like it enough, but I really do enjoy it. I think it has I don't know why people are like really negative on it. Probably because like everyone's like, well, it's just the same as the first one. But no, I think the New York setting gives it kind of a sense of grandeur. I think there's some better comedy aspects in there overall. You're kind of in a different location, but that final 20-25 minutes, same with the first one. It just has me in stitches because of just the amount of crazy stuff he can do to the sticky bandits, as they're called in this one. But I think it's just got overall a better sense of grandeur. People probably thought, oh, well, you can't do this again, and they seem to be original. Macaulay Culkin's still so charming in the main role. We have some really kind of like interesting additions as well into this. There's Rob Schneider is in this movie, looks really, really young in it. And of course, a cameo from the American president, Donald Trump. Why he was in that, I do not know. But quick paycheck, I think. But no, a really just another great Christmas film and probably the best Christmas sequel, I would say.
Okay, fair enough. To be honest, I actually didn't know Home Alone 2 was actually hated that much. I didn't know that. I thought it was actually beloved just like the first one.
I think the first two would be just because Macaulay Culkin's in both of them. I think it's a little bit better than the other three. But no, people. I think people just think it's just the same film again than the first time. They like follows the same ideas. But no, I just think having it in a different setting works really well. And like him being in the hotel, and you just think to yourself that would never ever happen, but you just kind of want it to.
Okay, fair enough. Even though, just like you, I would disagree with all this hate and everything. But okay, we all have our opinions. Now with TK, here comes the classic wave. You put number 3, The Sound of Music.
Yes.
Nice. Even though I kind of already know the answer, please share your overall thoughts. Why is your number 3?
So ABC runs it every year, the second or third Sunday of December, and we watch it. My family and I do. So it's kind of our tradition. I don't think it's really a Christmas movie so much as it is a family movie. But I mean, Christmas is a family time, so it kind of I count it as a Christmas movie. It's a great movie. I love it. I especially love the part when the captain interrogates the children about the berries. That's hilarious. And it's just also when the nuns take apart the car. That's hilarious too. Really just a great movie. I mean, it's long, but it's a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's, remind me, Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. I mean, I haven't watched The Sound of Music in a long time, so maybe this is also one of my movies on the list that I'll watch during the season. Okay, my number 3 is Miracle on 34th Street, 1994 version. I mean, this movie for me is so... I mean, I watched the 47 version as well, but like this one actually is the one I grew up with. And again, Richard Attenborough, being Santa Claus or Kris Kringle, this is a role that he was literally made for this. And I love his performance. I love the overall like warm heartness that this movie has, with like... with the mother and the daughter, and this kind of a lawyer who was also fell in love with the mother, and also this thing his relationship with the little girl, the children, the overall Christmas spirit, oh my god! And every time when there's that scene with the scandal, where kind of they framed him, it breaks my heart every time. When I see that moment, with that soundtrack in the background, with the people singing. It just breaks my heart every time, and I love that court scene in general, So it's the reason why it's my number 3 is because again, it's one of those movies that it's very close to my heart ever since I was a child, and also it just has this very powerful message and Christmas spirit. So it's definitely my number 3. I mean, what is your experience with Miracle on the 34th Street for you 3?
I've never seen it.
You should. You definitely should.
Take it. Definitely check it out. As Alan was saying, Richard Attenborough just really epitomizes what you would expect Santa to be as a kid. He's just amazing at the role. It's such a beautiful film as well. The girl from Matilda. Yeah, it's just a really nice, heartwarming film.
UFRC?
I echo everything that everyone else has said. I can't say any better myself.
Oh yeah. And now we go to number 2, which is which time actually we have a tie this time. Actually, we have between Ryan and FRC, which of course is number 2 is Home Alone. Number 1, numero uno. So since we have a tie, I want you both whenever you're ready, share your personal thoughts. Why is your number 2? Go for it.
Kieran?
I think, like I said about Home Alone, I think it's incredibly creative, incredibly fun. Macaulay Culkin is so likable, but I think I have to edge this one just because I think because it is the first film. It kind of follows that kind of uniqueness in a way. I think all the Christmas themes are there, but Macaulay Culkin is just so lovable. But I think I rewatched it this year, and something that I never noticed before is that the kind of mature ideas it kind of covers as well, amongst all the stuff with the wet bandits in this one. See, I got that right. I got it the right way around. The wet bandits, but it was all fun in that last 20-25 minutes, but also it's just such a fun, movie with a really deep message about this idea that one of his siblings says to him, "Oh, you can never do anything for yourself." And then at the end of the film, they're like, "Oh, we need to get milk." And he went, "Yeah, I know. I've got it. I went shopping." Like, you just think that's such a really great story for Kevin McAllister to go on. So I think it's very clever in that aspect. Never really noticed this film like that. But the first time I watched it, I was crying with laughter at that last 20 minutes with all the pranks. I think it was fantastic. So overall, Home Alone is such a Christmas classic.
Okay, Ryan?
Yeah, Kieran said it perfectly. It was very close between 1 and 2, but 2 did edge it for me. But Marv, and again, it was fantastic to see Joe Pesci in this, because of course, normally he's known for like the gangster roles, and I think he just was so funny in this. And him and Marv's my favorite character out of both of the films. I mean, yeah, the last 20 minutes when he's crawling through the window and standing on the baubles and that, it's just such a funny time. And it's such a beautiful story as well, such a simple story. And it shows you, again, not to judge a book by its cover, like with like the snow scooper guy, how the story just, obviously, Kevin thinks he's going to be this evil man, and he's actually just a lonely old man who's trying to get back in touch with his family. And it's just such a beautiful, simple Christmas story.
You two have put this like really wonderfully. I mean, I couldn't get it better myself. Really well done, boys. Really well done. Now, with your number 2. Now, to be fair, I was never a big fan of Chevy Chase, so you're gonna have to enlighten me with this one. So your number 2, TK, is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
Could you please kind of explain what this movie is all about?
So it's Clark Griswold essentially giving his family like the perfect Christmas, and nothing goes right.
Okay.
I love his rant. What he like essentially loses it. And then I also love, this is going to make me sound really bad, but there's a part of the movie where the cat pulls the Christmas lights out, is under the chair chewing it, and Clark plugs the Christmas lights in and fries the cat. Every time I do that part, you see like the sparks come from under the chair, then you hear, "Meow!" And every time that happens, I just lose it. People look at me like, "This guy hates cats." No, I don't hate cats. It's just hilarious.
You sounded like a cat being sodomized.
Oh, but it's a hilarious movie. I watch it every year. Also, Randy Quaid as Cousin Eddie. I mean, he's hilarious.
Okay, thank you for illuminating me. So I heard that Lampoon actually. How many movies does he have?
Of the original series, I think 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
4.
Okay. I mean, again, I'm not a big Chevy Chase fan, but like, I'll definitely give it a go for sure. Now, my number 2. Here we go to the debate. My number 2 is the Jim Carrey How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now, again, you, Kieran, Ryan, you mentioned the Grinch 2018 being your favorite. For me personally, even though, look, every Christmas, ever since it came out, I also watched the Grinch 2018 version for sure. But my all-time favorite will always be the Jim Carrey version because, again, the way how he embodied the Grinch and also the overall world building. I mean, what Ron Howard did with this movie, and of course, you can't get wrong with Anthony Hopkins narrating this movie. I mean, you can't. But overall, like, this movie I grew up with is one of the first Christmas movies, not even mention like my very first Christmas movie I ever seen. And it's very close to my heart. And it's also one of my favorite Jim Carrey roles that he ever did. For my personal, by the way, a hot, like, kind of like, fact. This is the only movie where my parents can stand Jim Carrey. The only movie, because he's under all that makeup. When they're watching Ace Ventura or The Mask or what was it, like the Unfortunate Events movie, any other Jim Carrey movie, they can't stand him. The only movie they can stand him is The Grinch, just because of the makeup. But overall, and also one of the reasons why I love this movie is because the way how they extended Cindy Lou Who's character and the overall role in the story, like it just, and the way how she kind of successfully in a way changed the point of view of the Grinch, and again, when he became, when he changed, with the sunset and everything and the exaggerated cry, it makes me always, it's ridiculous, but it makes me emotional in a way because, he changed and everything. But overall, again, that's my number 2, because again, it's one of those movies that I must watch every Christmas because it's a big tradition to me. I mean, I don't know how you three think of this movie now, but for me, it's my number 2.
I think I heard he was going to reprise the role, possibly. Obviously, because apparently it was an absolute hell with the makeup, so he doesn't want to do that again. But thankfully, with the technology, I've heard he might possibly reprise his role if something was to come up.
Honestly, don't get me wrong. I know that in the end, Jim Carrey this role kind of became one of his favorites. But honestly, I don't want a sequel. I want it to be his own film on its own and everything. It doesn't need to have a sequel. And honestly, but I still find the story hilarious that they need to bring a CIA agent to kind of like teach him how to stand torture, to kind of like stand all that makeup. It's so hilarious the way how they did it, But and again, he did say he won't return if they do him CGI, But my bet is if he returned, they will definitely put makeup on him again. I don't think they'll do the CGI thing. I don't think they would. But anyway, like that's my number 2. So, you can swear at me, you can kill me all you want, but that's my number 2. Now, speaking of number 2, your number 1, Ryan, is Home Alone 2. I bet a lot of people who disagree with people who hate him, they will bless you right now. So, please enlighten us with your personal opinion. Why is your number 1?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's definitely close between 1 and 2, but this one just definitely edged out. I was really surprised to hear FRC that it's a lot of people don't like it because I personally haven't seen it. I know why people would maybe go for the first one, but I didn't know people didn't like it. But the reason I like it is the fact that it's a bit grander. I can't really say that's too much like the first one because obviously that's just in a house. This one's in the whole of New York, a big, massive whole area. There's so much more that they do with the film. And again, Joe Pesci and Mars even better in this film. And I think the traps and everything are so much better. Like when he gets electrocuted in the bricks, when he's just constantly throwing the bricks, I kill myself watching that. I watch it on repeat when it comes to that scene. And yeah, I just think everything's a lot bigger and better, like they do tend to do with sequels. But I think it's done really well.
Can I also be honest with you, Ryan? I actually, when it comes to side characters, I actually prefer more the pigeon lady than the shovel guy.
Yeah.
I know, look, both of them are interesting written characters, but I don't know, I kind of connect them more with the pigeon lady. I mean, I don't know what you think about it, but.
No, yeah, I definitely feel sorry for her, obviously, like a homeless person. And it's nice when the turtle doves, when he gives her a turtle dove, not to spoil it, but it is like 20 whatever years old or whatever. But yeah, it's a beautiful film. And yeah, it has to be my number 1 pick every single year, no doubt gets put on. And Kieran, I don't know, being from the UK, used to probably won't be aware, but Piers Morgan was claimed to be the pigeon lady. He's not, if you were curious.
Okay.
I don't think that man could be somewhat a nice person. So no, that's why it's not. Yeah, that's why he's not the pigeon lady.
All right then. Now, your number one pick, FRC, is actually very peculiar. Your number one is Klaus. Now, I've seen the trailer. I've heard about this movie, but I'll be honest, I never ever watched it. So, tell me, like, why is your number one pick?
Yeah, I mean, this surprised me because this is a movie that I literally just watched a couple of days ago as part of my Back in Time series, and this is the review for that is going to be on my on the channel Christmas Day. I'm going to record it before, obviously, because I'll be enjoying my Christmas dinner. But it really surprised me because the common idea now is that Netflix original films, they're just very casually done, and they're not great. But this one for me is just one of them rare Netflix originals that I would be happy to rewatch and recommend to people because it's such a clever, creative film. I think the themes of Christmas are so evident in there, but done in a really creative and original way, and that supports a really strong story and some really great character development. The animation, bold, unique. We spoke about that with the Polar Express, but this one is even more heightened in here and made for, I think, a bold animation like that almost keeps a lot of people engaged. The idea of this being kind of like the origins of Christmas for a town, and this idea about sending like letters, like post, is just crazy now to a lot of people. But just this really great story about how it gets kids to be nice, and how the Santa starts making wooden toys and then kind of builds up as he gets a workshop and then recruit some elves. I just think it's a really joyous film, which is fantastic animation as well. And like I said, it's so easy now to dismiss Netflix films. You're like, oh, okay, here comes another one. Oh yeah, here comes another one. There's not anybody in this movie massively well known, so you kind of just think to yourself like, well, J.K. Simmons is the voice of Klaus, probably the main one, but for me, overall, I think it was just such a joyous Christmas film that I was just so surprised by. Definitely the biggest Christmas film surprise that I've had for a long time.
Wow. I mean, just the way how beautifully you explain it. I mean, this is definitely one of my movies on the list that I have to definitely watch. Now, the way how you explain it. Now, with TK, our favorite lucky bastard, your number one is The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yes.
Interesting. Would you explain why is this particular movie your number one?
Yes. So for me, it's the music. I really like the music in it. It really gets stuck in your head, although it would help if I didn't listen to the music, but I really love the music in it. I love, anything Muppets. And getting somebody like Michael Caine in that movie, perfect.
Wow. Really beautifully short, but beautifully said. Now, for my number one, speaking of Christmas Carol, is A Christmas Carol from 1984. That will always be for me my number one pick because I've seen all sorts of versions of Ebenezer Scrooge, like animated, live action, 3D, like Jim Carrey's version, Luke Evans' version from Netflix. Like I've seen all sorts of even Tim Curry's anime version. Like I've seen a lot of Ebenezer Scrooge's version. But this one, for me, is the one that will always remain my number one because it's the most faithful adaptation of the Charles Dickens story. And again, George C. Scott, even though a lot of people say, well, an American playing a British character, but still, the way how he embodied Scrooge, the grumpiness, the attitude, the voice, the performance, this is the movie I grew up with when I was a child, especially when it comes to Christmas. It has a really extraordinary cast, really well made, and it's a shame that it actually was a TV movie because for me personally, a movie like that should be theatrical because it was really well done. And of all the Christmas Carol versions I've seen, this is definitely will always be my number one, and also George C. Scott, I'm a big fan of the guy, in general, and also should be, as an actor, should be way more appreciated than what he is today. I don't know about your personal Christmas Carol versions, but again, this is my number one for me. All right,
personally,
then.
Sorry,
Go
personally,
ahead.
just going to say, my favorite Christmas Carol film is probably Jim Carrey's, I would say, from 2009. I think that was, and that's Robert Zemeckis as well, who I think is such an underrated director. So if we're talking about Christmas Carol films, the 2009 one for me personally, but that 84 film is just such, again, another classic. And more people should watch that as well.
Yeah, I mean that's also another Christmas Carol I watch on Christmas Day for sure. But my primary one is always the 1984 one I watch. But I do agree with you. Jim Carrey's version is also pretty good, and it kind of reminds me of the Polar Express animation a little bit.
Yeah,
it reminds me a little bit of that. Now, before I go, bloody hell, we spent an hour on this top 10 list. Anyway, before I reach other parts of this, do you guys have any honorable mentions? The ones that didn't succeeded in the top 10, if you want to share it with us.
I do. Unaccompanied
Okay.
Minors. So that's another Christmas movie. It's the humor in it is really cheesy humor, really slapstick humor. And also Lewis Black is in it. So I mean, I don't know how they got Lewis Black in that movie. There must have been some lying or some false pretenses, but it's a really funny movie, really good movie. The guy from Criminal Minds, what's his name?
Joe Mantegna.
Yeah, his daughter also is in that movie. Gina Mateo. I'm going to botch the last name, but it's a really good Christmas movie. I actually think the director of it was also a director on The Office at one point, so the humor is kind of it's similar. It's good.
Okay. How about you two?
I'm going to say the ones that have been mentioned. I didn't know Rise of the Guardians would have counted, but I'm going to put that one in because Al did, and then Violent Night also gets in for me. But then other mentions, I'd say The Christmas Chronicles was very close to getting on my list. The Kurt Russell Christmas film, and also Jingle Jangle, which was the Forest Whitaker musical as well, which everyone's saying that should be made into a Broadway musical. I think there's some really cool, catchy songs in that one.
All right, then. How about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I would say Jack Frost with Michael Keaton. That's a really... I gets a little bit of hate, I think, but personally, I love that film. It's so sad at the end when he just blows away. But yeah, that's definitely one. But also Krampus. I don't know if any of you have seen that film. It's a Christmas horror movie.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that. I'm a dark person. I like dark movies. And yeah, that was right up my alley. It's very creepy, but yeah, it's a highly underrated film that not many people seem to talk about. So I'd really recommend that movie as well.
Ryan, I have to tell you, you are reading my fucking mind because Jack Frost with Michael Keaton and Krampus were definitely my nominees for honorable mentions. I do agree with you. The reason why I love Jack Frost because it's a really beautiful story that has a very emotional ending. And Krampus, the reason why I love that movie because he gave us I would definitely say the scariest version of Krampus. I think in all sorts of iterations I've seen, And again, like you, I'm a sucker when it comes to dark Christmas movies, especially horror movies. I think they should do more horror Christmas movies. I think they should do more, because Krampus definitely was inventive. And to add one more. And this is literally a very, very old movie from, especially more precisely from 1955. We Are No Angels, with Peter Ustinov and what was the other guy's name? Humphrey Bogart and what was the third one? Alder Ray. That's his name, Alder Ray. Because that's also one of those old movies that also you can kind of call Christmas movies. So that's definitely for me. It's a comedy. Basically, kind of like a dark comedy, but overall, that's definitely one of my nominees. Definitely. Now, that's one thing I find very interesting because, and also a very interesting question I wanted to ask you guys. So, our very first Christmas movies, the very first ones we have seen that we can remember ever since we were children, and that's very interesting. Now, again, speaking of the Santa Claus, I mean, Ryan, you are definitely obsessed with it. you're saying that your very first Christmas movie you ever watched was The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Now, could you kind of explain how you were introduced to this movie?
I can't even remember yesterday, never mind all that time ago. So I kind of struggled, to be honest, with this one. But this is the first memory I kind of had watching a Christmas movie. And yeah, just again, Tim Allen, of course, coming from Toy Story, my favorite ever animation. So again, to come in to see him live action as Santa Claus at the time, of course, believing in Santa. I mean, he is real, obviously. Yeah, the whole transition from Tim Allen to this little bit of a grumpy business guy into the actual Santa Claus, it was just such a fun time growing up as a child. The whole, when he Heartbeat plays Jingle All the Way, and it's such a funny time and such a beautiful, beautiful film, him and Charlie coming together at the end of the movie, leading into the also amazing Santa Claus 2.
Well said. Definitely well said. Especially that heartbeat thing. Like, that's also hilarious even today, even still for me. Bom, 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 bom. That was so hilarious. I do agree with you on that one. But I love also the interrogation scene when he's like, "What's your name?"
Oh, yeah.
Santa Claus, Kris Kringle, Babbo Natale. Like, I love that. That was hilarious as well. Now,
Just like, again, from someone who's like doesn't really even believe in Santa, and then he's like so set in the fact that he is now Santa Claus. It's just such a great film.
I want to ask you about, speaking of the Santa Claus movies, I want to ask you, what is your overall thoughts of like the elves being children or played by children?
I like, who was the head elf again? I liked him as well. Who with the snow globe that he gifts Charlie. I really like that actor as well who played him. The head elf.
That was David Krumholtz, I think that's his name. David Krumholtz or something.
Mm-hmm.
He was the head elf, Bernard.
Yeah, but I like they were played by younger actors, not really young children, maybe like young teens or so. And again, the little girl that tried to like kind of convinces him that he is now Santa Claus when he tries to just, I'm not Santa. And then with the whole Muppet show, the puppet show where his pants fall down and everything, yeah, it's just such an amazing time.
I do agree on that. Now, with UFRC, your earliest memory is, surprise, surprise, the first Home Alone movie. Would you kind of go a little bit deeper with that one? Like your kind of like earliest memory?
Yeah, remember watching it with my mum and my sister, as I mentioned, when it was in my top 10. Me and my sister were both crying with laughter, and it's always remained a Christmas classic. So it was a really enjoyable first watch. I never really remember watching any Christmas films in the cinema, but for me that was a home watch, and it was a thoroughly enjoyable one as well.
Okay. And with you, TK, why I'm not surprised, the Muppets Christmas Carol. That's literally the very first one you remember.
Yeah. I had to think about that one. That's the first one I remember.
Okay, now for me, surprise, surprise, I went with How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but I was also kind of struggling because I was literally going between, and I'm not kidding you, like between Home Alone, the Santa Claus, and How the Grinch Stole Christmas, because like I was really trying to remember which was my very first introduction to Christmas as movies. And I was trying to really think like which one, because it was very difficult, I mean, like literally, it came out in 2000. I'm from 95, so again, very difficult to remember. But I in the end, I went with How the Grinch Stole Christmas, like kind of like my earliest memories of like my very first Christmas movies, But either way, I just want to say, I thought that was kind of like a fun question to ask you, because I was really curious what kind of memories you're gonna dig up, basically, And again, classic, but like. Nice choices. I will give you that.
Hey, by the way, I had to work this. So I just thought about something. We were talking about favorite Christmas movies and TV shows. You know what Christmas media there's never been anything for?
Anything what?
You know what there's never been anything for Christmas-wise?
Oh. Okay. Go ahead.
There's never been anything for Dragon Ball Christmas-wise.
God help me. If I have the power, I will get the Dragon Balls and literally tell Shenron, please make TK disappear with the flick of a switch, please, please. Oh my God! Like you and your freaking Dragon Ball. You know, I will literally send or go to Japan to Toei Animation and say, hey, there's a guy who's a big pain in the butt for Dragon Ball. Please give him a Christmas special with Goku or something. Please.
Yes.
Just do it. Oh my God. Anyway, let's try to go to something jollier than this. Okay, so that's another question. I was really kind of fun to ask you. Your favorite overall Santa Claus performance. And before I go to me and FRC, you and TK matched basically with saying that your favorite Santa Claus performance is Tim Allen. Surprise, surprise. So please, both of you, since it's a tie, elaborate. Why is your favorite Santa Claus performance?
TK?
He's my favorite just because he's just funny as Santa Claus. I just kind of like him.
Okay. You, Ryan?
Yeah, same as TK. Just he really brought that comedy. And again, I guess as Alan said, I might possibly be slightly obsessed with the Santa Claus, and maybe Tim Allen himself also. But it's just my mom also really loves this movie, and partly that is also why I do as well. It's our get together movie together. We don't see each other too much now, but when we come together around Christmas time, this is a must put on, and we just have such a lovely time watching it together. And again, yeah, he just brings the comedy. And it was a good toss-up between David Harbour for Violent Night, Richard Attenborough for Miracle on 34th Street. But Tim Allen just stole it for me. Possibly a little bit biased just with it being the nostalgia of my first Santa Claus movie and everything. But yeah, I think it's a decent pick.
Okay, fair enough. Now with you, FRC, I'm really curious what you're going to say about this one. You picked Ed Asner as your favorite Santa Claus performance. Could you please, I'm really curious about your answer. Could you please elaborate why would you choose him?
Yeah, it was a toss-up between him and Arnold in the literally last 10-15 minutes of Jingle All the Way. But no, Ed Asner, I think, overall was the most joyful Santa. He wasn't in it a lot, but I think he stole the scenes in which he was in and was always there for Buddy when the elves were, taking the mick out of him. And obviously because he was a human and they all knew that apart from Buddy. I think he just overall had such great spirit, joy. I think he added a lot to the movie when he was on screen. And was just, brutally honest with Buddy, and he told him exactly where he was from, and what his ideas were, and giving him some advice as well, which I always find that a really funny scene when he's literally giving him advice what not to do, and he doesn't follow it. But he also just shows him that, look, Buddy is the most, going from somebody who can't do anything that an elf can do to being the most important one, where he needs his help. And he's telling everybody about Christmas joy and spirit when ultimately it was lost. So ultimately, I think he was just overall really, really great Santa in a movie that's not necessarily about Santa, just about it's a main human elf.
Okay, fair enough. For me personally, I'm sticking with Richard Attenborough because the way how he portrays Santa Claus in The Miracle on 34th Street is just simply. It's stuck with me ever since I was a child. It's a type of performance I always kind of embodied, like what actually Santa Claus always was, like the love that he had for children, the compassion, the kindness, the overall Christmas spirit, the way how he always saw himself, and the relationship again between the girl and him, it's kind of like he literally embodied everything the way how I always kind of described, Santa Claus, So that's why I'm going with Richard Attenborough, on this one. Now I want to ask, this is a tricky one. I want to ask you, between all these four, do you have any honorable mentions, actors who come close to your choices?
I'll just say a little bit. Sorry, yeah.
No, go on, Ryan.
No, yeah, I was just going to say David Harbour. It's something different You know, it's more action orientated, and again, his whole
Mhm.
backstory. It's just something a little bit different. So yeah, I would have to say David Harbour.
Okay, fair enough. DK.
I don't think I really have an honorable mention with this one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. FRC.
I was going to say Kurt Russell in the Christmas Chronicles, I think, was solid for the two movies he was in.
Ooh. That was a good one. That was a good, kind of like a badass type of like Santa Claus, but like I agree on this one. There's also a really really good one. Yeah. All right. Now there's another one actually. I kind of like also wanted to ask you, which is basically as I kind of typed it, Christmas tradition, kind of like movies that you guys will basically put yourself basically as a task to watch every single Christmas day. Now, again, you and TK, like you are so close with each other, like especially with Home Alone 1 and 2. That's kind of like almost like a crusade for you two. Do you? But when you put Jingle All the Way, The Grinch, and The Santa Claus. Now my question to you is, with all the 5 you put, why out of all the Christmas movies did you choose those two as kind of like your typical Christmas tradition?
Yeah, I mean, it's just every year. It's just, again, with Home Alone, it's just such a simple story. There's nothing too complicated. You can literally sit down, warm drink, popcorn, and just get that warm Christmas feeling. Again, simple story, hilarious characters, beautiful stories. It's not too soppy. It's just all funny. I love the films. And again, going back, it takes you back to nostalgia to when I was young, growing up with the films, which is a big part of what's the Santa Claus and Jingle All the Way. Just every year, that top 5 right there is without fail a must watch.
Okay. FRC, same question.
Yeah, I tried to go for a bit of a mix, which I think I do in a specific time. So Home Alone, I think, is a Christmas classic. Home Alone 2, probably the best sequel of any Christmas film. Elf is just so funny and heartwarming. Die Hard, something a bit different, more mature than After Christmas. You got to put in an animation in there somewhere. So trying to make the 5 as varied and as possible to cover all aspects of what I enjoy about Christmas.
Okay, TK, same question.
So really those 3 movies are, for me, they kind of, they're Christmas movies, but they're also kind of family movies. So that's kind of why I put them as a Christmas tradition. I couldn't really think of 2 other movies, so I only went with 3. But really just watching them and spending time with family. And I mean, they really are 3 fantastic movies too. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. For me, I went again with the Christmas Carol 1984, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Arthur Christmas, Miracle on 34th Street, and the Santa Claus trilogy. And again, the main reason why I went with those 5 is basically, again, kind of like combining, comedy, Christmas spirit, the interesting stories, interesting characters, overall. But like, for example, the Santa Claus trilogy and Arthur Christmas, mostly because like, I really like the comedy in those movies. I really like, the how can I put this, like eccentric characters that were in it as well, the overall ideas. Now, Miracle on 34th Street, The Grinch, and Christmas Carol, the main reason why I watch those movies is because what attracted them is the overall Christmas spirit that these movies possess, and the messages they send, and the overall performances. So those for me are kind of like my top 5 choice for my Christmas tradition. Even though there's plenty of them, those 5 for me are like the ones I must watch every single Christmas day. Now, this is one I think will be very peculiar to discuss about. Now, I asked you favorite Christmas movies of 2024. Oh, I already seen this is going to be a hot one to talk about. So, Ryan and FRC, you've chosen That Christmas both in the same time. So since it's a tie, please let us flourish with your answers. Why did you choose those as your favorite Christmas movie of 2024?
Go on, Ryan.
Kieran, it's fantastic to see that you've picked that Christmas. I'm really glad that you did enjoy it. Yeah, again, it's just a case of unfortunately, at the moment, there's not a lot of interesting Christmas movies that are coming out. But thankfully, Netflix has come to the savior yet again that Christmas releasing. Again, just a simple, beautiful story of a town coming together, which characters you wouldn't necessarily think could pair up and get along. It was a close tie-up between Dear Santa, TK. I've got respect for you being honest. Red One wasn't for me, but I'm glad you enjoyed that. But yeah, Dear Santa's also a really good pick. But yeah, it was for me that Christmas.
Okay, FRC.
I think it's just a really joyful Christmas film. All the different stories, different lives, different ways that you can celebrate Christmas, both from a kid's perspective, but also an adult perspective. And I think it's just a really great family choice. As Ryan mentioned, there's not been great Christmas films this year, but Netflix has come in with a really solid, well-animated film, I thought, as well. I thought it was a really, nice, look animated film, very English in terms of comedy aspects. But, I mean, Red One probably should have been my favourite Christmas film, but it wasn't. And then Dear Santa, I think, is not only in my bottom 10 Christmas films of all time, I think it's my bottom 10 of the year. That is no. Anyway, moving on swiftly from that one. But no, overall, I think that Christmas definitely deserves to be the best Christmas film.
Okay, now I'm going to love every second of it. Please, TK. Illuminate us. Why is Red One your favorite Christmas movie of 2024?
Okay,
Please.
So I liked Red One. I thought it was good, but part of the reason it's my favorite Christmas movie I've seen this year is because it's the only one I've seen this year. So I had to make it.
That makes sense, TK. To be honest,
Yeah.
Okay, beautifully said. Beautifully said. Also, FRC, I hope you enjoyed his comments. I really do. Now, for me, again, you mentioned before, Ryan, I'm going with Dear Santa. Even though I will say this, Red One was a close call, even for me, because I really had a blast with this movie. But Dear Santa, again, heartwarming story, really big when it comes to Christmas spirit. And again, Jack Black adding as the cherry on top. His scenes overall was absolutely hilarious. I love his relationship with the kid. And again, I just love seeing him as a demon because he looks so fucking metal with those horns and everything, But overall, me and my friend, we had a blast when we watched this on Paramount Plus. But overall, if I have to pick between those two, because even though there were quite a few in Christmas movies when it comes to 2024. By the way, I want to tell you that I also watched That Christmas. I also watched it 2 days ago, and I tip my hat to both of you. It's actually a pretty good Christmas story. I will give you credit for that. Even I would have preferred that Brian Cox appeared more as Santa Claus, because I really liked him, But overall, I get the idea what you explained to me in the last live stream, kind of like what the story was all about, and I still liked it. So thank you very much for this choice for me to watch. Thank you very much, Ryan, to illuminate me to watch That Christmas. But I'm still standing with Dear Santa, because again, Jack Black, you can't go wrong with that one.
Has anybody watched The Carry On, the Taron Egerton film on Netflix? It's my family's Christmas Eve film, so I've stayed away from it. But I hear it's really good. Any positivity on that one that I can share with the family?
I think you'll, Kieran, if you like Die Hard as much as what I've seen here, I do really think you're going to like this. But it's a little bit slow of a start, but it gets into it, and it's great to see Jason Bateman as the villain. I think you're going to have a really good time with it.
All right, awesome. I'll let you guys know.
Okay. And with that, we come to this. So first Christmas movie theater experience. Oh, this is going to be a good one as well. So you two have chosen Elf, FRC, and Ryan. Really? That was your very first Christmas experience in the theater.
Can I explain my pick before we continue?
Please go ahead.
I'm a young soul, as you can see by my perfect bone structure here. I'm a young soul, and I was one when this came out. This came out in 2003, so I didn't watch it in the cinema. However, my flatmate, my very good friend Tom, he had never seen Elf before, and it was coming into cinemas, as I mentioned, last year for its 20th anniversary. So that is why it is my first Christmas movie experience in the cinema was Elf. And it was such a cool experience to watch it with him. We had such a laugh together. And there was a girl who literally knew all the words and was just reciting them. And the amount of times her dad was like, please be quiet. Like, we're not watching this at home. We're in a cinema with people. But it just put a big smile on my face because, you know, kids like that, I know this is massively off topic, but theatre etiquette sometimes is so poor. But when you see kids just having a good time with it, almost just makes you feel like, yeah, you know, you're enjoying it at least. At least you're not just being annoying and screaming and squealing. There was another good story from this year when we went to watch Moana 2. Again, same friend, packed cinema. When they started singing, they literally went, oh my God, no more singing. And that just really made me laugh as well. So them to having kids out in cinemas is fun. And Elf was such a fun film to watch alongside with just their genuine, truthful reactions.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, even if you went to watch it for the 20th anniversary, that still counts kind of like a theater experience. So I'll give you that. Ryan?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I cannot remember yesterday, so again, going all that time, I really had to think on this one. But more recently, much like Kieran, I went to see the 20th anniversary last year and had such a blast, just like the first time I had seen it. I do think you have to like the comedy. It's a specific kind of comedy. But if you do, I think this is a timeless film. I went with my girlfriend last year and her parents, who are, you know, quite older, 60 plus. And it was just amazing to see different generations laughing their head off throughout the film. It was just such a great film to come together with your family and friends, and everyone's just having a fantastic time in the cinema. It's just, yeah, I think it's a timeless comedy Christmas flick and a really enjoyable one.
Okay, fair enough. For you, TK, you put the Santa Claus 2.
Mm-hmm.
Let me guess, was it an anniversary thing?
No, it was actually the original release.
Really? Wait
Yeah.
a minute. The original. Wait, it came out in 2002.
Yep.
Wow,
I've
and you
always
went that far in the past to remember it.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, did you remember any of it when you were little?
Bits and pieces of it. I mean, the Toy Santa thing I remembered. I remember the "Hi, honey, I'm home" thing when he jumps from the sleigh.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think I remembered a lot of the movie. I mean, I remembered like I said, bits and pieces. But yeah, but I think that was definitely my first Christmas movie in the theaters. I think. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, first and foremost, congratulations for your strong memory, by the way. I always want to say that. But for me personally, like of all my years of going to the movie theater, I never remember going to like watching an actual Christmas movie. So I do have to say, my very first Christmas movie theater experience has to be Red One this year. You know, I mean, look, literally, like the Santa Claus and Elf, and like, you know, even like Home Alone, like those are like way before my time. And literally, like in those days, you know, I didn't, especially when I was little, I didn't go into the theaters that much, basically, or at least not for the movies that I was interested at first. So again, I'm going with the Red One as my first Christmas movie theater experience. Because most of the movies that you put here, Elf and Santa Claus 2, I watched them on the TV, basically. I grew up watching them on the TV, never in the theater. So, yeah, sadly, it is what it is, basically. Now, favorite Christmas movie ever. Now, this is an idea, I just have to say, TK, the lucky bastard, gave it to me. So I wanted to put it on this, you know, just for fun. And again, very, you know, interesting picks, you know, but again, kind of like, you know, predictable for all four of us, you know. But again, like for you, Ryan, you put Home Alone 2, FRC, Klaus, TK, The Muppet Christmas Carol, and I put A Christmas Carol from 1984. So between you three, like I wanna hear like your overall thoughts, like why those three movies are like your favorite Christmas movies ever. So you can start, whichever prefer to be the first one.
I've kind of said everything I need to say about this film. I don't think I've got any kind of more to say. I think as well, like I said, it was the biggest surprise. Didn't think I'd like it as much. Really, really pleased I picked it for the end of the Back in Time series as well, because that's been a really great series to do across the last 12 months. So I think it'll be a good end. I kind of spoiled it for people who are kind of waiting for the review and kind of share my general thoughts. But absolutely deserves its credibility, and sounds like our fearless leader here, Lord of Shadows, will be checking it out. As soon as you watch it, you better let me know.
Okay, I will. I definitely will. Ryan?
Yeah, much like FRC, I can't say too much more on this, but again, just Home Alone 2. I just love the fact that it's on such a grander scale. New York. After watching this movie, I've always wanted to go to New York around Christmas time. That is still on my bucket list, and I will get there. But yeah, it is all because of this movie and a phenomenal cast. Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, Rob Schneider, Tim Curry, the list just goes on and on. Amazing moments throughout the whole film. So again, I cannot wait to pop it on Christmas Day after work. This is getting put straight on there, along with probably the first one beforehand.
Okay. Yeah, beautifully said. You, TK?
I don't have much more to say about the Muppet Christmas Carol. I guess the only thing more I could say is humbug, but
okay.
It's just a great movie. And it just beats National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation by like a margin. I just think it's a little bit more creative in terms of his execution, the music and everything. Now, if National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, if Mavis Staples, if there's any chance that anybody related to her is watching this, if she would release the damn song Christmas Vacation, that might actually be my favorite movie. But since she's not releasing the song, since it's never been released, that can't be my favorite movie.
Okay, fair enough. For me personally, like for Christmas Carol, I mean, I said already what I had to say. The only thing I can add that this movie in particular, the reason why it will always be my favorite one is because it really awakened my love for Christmas as a holiday and also the overall Christmas spirit. It just simply made it stronger, like, for me, basically. So that's kind of like a little addition I can add why I'm so connected to this movie and also thankful at the same time. Now, this one is a very interesting one that also TK kind of gave me an idea, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell? I'm gonna ask it. Your favorite Christmas songs?" And you three gave me very interesting choices. Like for you, Ryan, we went with "Merry Christmas, Everyone" and "Driving Home for Christmas." Even though you did say you kind of conflicted with both, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put both of them. Kind of like trying to make you pick, basically. So. What kind of an impact those two songs made on you?
I think the fact that they're just so catchy. Once you listen to them, the lyrics are so simple. You can just sing along in your head easily. They're easy to remember. Again, "Driving Home for Christmas" is by Chris Rea, and he's from up in my area as well, Middlesbrough, Newcastle. He's actually from up here. And yet my girlfriend is so sick of hearing "Driving Home for Christmas." Like, big time. She's like, turn that off now. All the time when she's over, I think I've had it on about like 5 times, or just in the morning when we get up, I put it straight on there. I love it. And again, Shakin' Stevens, "Merry Christmas, Everyone." Again, such a simple, great song. The music video for it, where you meet Santa and they meet up with the kids and making the toys in the workshop. Such great songs. I mean, there's loads of Christmas songs that are worthy to be on here. "Fairy Tale in New York" is another one of such a classic. But yeah, these two are the top picks. I couldn't pick between the two of them.
All right. Beautifully said. For you, FRC, you put, again, "Driving Home for Christmas" and "Last Christmas." So kind of same question to you.
Yeah, "Driving Home for Christmas." I love the way that Chris Rea sings that song. And I think it's just so soulful. And it's just, overall, a really just feel good Christmas song. And then Last Christmas by Wham, the music video is iconic. George Michael was such a fantastic musician and did so much for charity around Christmas actually, and was just such a great a gracious gentleman. But I work in retail part time, and so I have to listen to these songs 2-3 times a day, and it doesn't matter when these songs come in throughout the day. It always gets me through the day, making the shift that I do a little less difficult when you have difficult customers. So I just sing on to these songs and go about my shift.
Beautiful. Okay. Really? Okay. Fair enough. UTK, you chose Everything's Gonna Be Cool This Christmas.
Yeah, so that's by the Eels. That's a really good song. I'm gonna add 2 more. I'm gonna add Christmas Promise by Backhouse Mike.
Okay.
Which was the title song in Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh. I'm also gonna add Christmas Rapping because I love that song. It just has a good rhythm to it.
Okay, fair enough. For me, I kind of went all over the place. Like the first one is of course Jingle Bells, because like this is a song I grew up with ever since I was a kid, and even today, like I just simply cannot stop listening to it. I just love the overall positivity of the song, the energy, and the overall rhythm about it. Like just simply, it makes me happy. Basically, this song literally makes me happy every time when I hear it. Now the second one is Santa Claus Is Coming to Town, which just like Feliz Navidad. Like those are 2 songs that kind of like I kind of would listen to over and over again on my radio, and I kind of I became kind of obsessed with them, because I really love the rhythm of it, the way how the music is played, and I really love the lyrics. Especially when I translate Feliz Navidad, of course. But overall, like, if I have to choose, I would say those 3 are kind of like my overall favorite Christmas songs, even though the list is also a little bit longer, but those are like my top 3 for me, and with that.
Oh, wait, I have a comment from go ahead. I got a comment. The person said they love Driving Home for Christmas by Chris Rea and Merry Kalikimaki by Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters. Yes, Merry Kalikimaki, yes. Really good.
Good choices. Good choices. I do agree on that. Great choices. Wow. Almost like 2 hours, gentlemen. Almost 2 hours. Gentlemen, so before we can come to a conclusion, do you want to add some other topics you wish to discuss? Christmas in general? I'm all open, all ears.
Just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. Of course, any thing that you celebrate around this time, I'll just make sure that you're very merry and enjoy times with your loved ones, and giving them and receiving gifts is always the best part. My Christmas, seeing the joy on people's faces and just appreciating everything people do. For me, it's time and effort and money that they spend. I'll be celebrating Christmas with my immediate family, and then I'll also be spending Christmas with my grandma on Boxing Day. So it'll be really lovely to see her. I know that she's not listening, but it's the first time that I've got her a Christmas present, so I'm sure she'll be very, very, very sad. Very emotional to see that. So overall, I just absolutely love this time of year. Finishing off what has been a great year, not only YouTube but personal wise. So it's been a fantastic time, and if this stream has not got me in Christmas spirit, then I must be Ebenezer Scrooge. But it absolutely has. I've kept my head is sweating from this Christmas app, but I don't want to take it off. Merry Christmas, all. Love you all very much, and thank you all very much for everything that all 3 of you do.
Yeah, same ditto. Merry Christmas, everyone. Also, if any of you celebrate Happy Festivus, I think next year for our Christmas live stream, we ought to do the Feats of Strength. But yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone, and Happy New Year.
Ryan?
Just Merry Christmas to everybody, and again, Happy Holidays to whatever it is that you celebrate. Again, much like Kieran, this is my favorite time of the year. you know, a lot of time we can take people and family time for granted. We forget about people sometimes and we don't see them for a long time. So it's important at this time of year to get together and meet up with your close family, because yeah, it's just always nice to meet up with loved ones and spend that time, making sure you get that in there. And yeah, people tend to think about everyone else this time of year, and it's really nice to see. Yeah, I love this time of year.
All three of you have said very, very beautiful words, and which kind of leaves me as well to say, you know, all of you, I wish you a merry, happy, holy, jolly Christmas to all of you. A happy new year. I hope, you know, get, you know, drink, eat, be merry, get drunk, you know, happy, dancing, you know, enjoying your company with friends and family, because this is a time for a great get together and to basically not being selfish, but to care about everyone else around you. So again, I wish all of you merry, happy festivities. And for this year, see you until like, you know, the beginning of January, because we came to an end to our Shadow Council episode. Again, it's not the overall finale. It just means for 2024, we're finished. But don't worry, we're coming back at somewhere at the beginning of January, basically, you know, because even we sometimes deserve to have a little bit of vacation, you know, especially with these festivities and everything. So overall, I'm really happy for you guys, you know, first and foremost to join me in this, like, you know, Christmas festivity, kind of like, you know, talk about movies and TV shows. I really appreciate for joining with me, and also everyone who watched this. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed our company. You guys know the drill. Comment, like, subscribe, everything, your overall Christmas spirit in the comment section down below. And like always, Laura Shadows signing off. All of you.
DK out. See you next year.
See you later, guys. Have a lovely holiday.
FLC,
All the best.
it's been a pleasure. Take
See
care.
you guys next time. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and see you guys next year. But until then, later, fuckers.